Right, fellas, great job getting us back where we belong. Now, I know this group looks pretty tough with Man City and Barcelona, but third's not bad in the Champions League. And to get that, we just need to beat Anderlecht a few times, and we already know that we can do that from the Conference League last season, okay? So I want you guys to go out there and beat these chocolate making Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 76 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you're doing well down in the bottom left corner these days just because I don't want to block quite as many player stats during the game. So if you can't see where I am, bottom left corner. But coming up in today's episode, we do start off the Champions League group stages with an important game in the race for third, taking on Anderlecht at home. And we also have a domestic game off the back of that as well. So if you are looking forward to today's episode back in the Champions League, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But as you can see on screen, we are about to enter our first game of the Champions League. You can see that the first game has actually already taken place in this group, with Haaland getting a double and Adeyemi to get Manchester City a 3-1 win over Barcelona, despite Rafinha getting a goal. So Man City are on top of the group early, but our first game is against Anderlecht. As I said in the intro, this is a game that I think we should be winning, especially considering how well we did do against these guys in the Conference League. Benjamin Rubio on absolute fire, but we have played a few important games since the end of yesterday's episode domestically. If you missed that playoff against Young Boys, I'll leave a link to it in the top right corner, but we do need to show you guys the highlights from a few of those games. And the first game was a Mulka-Bickerin semi-final. We were taking on R.S.C away from home. We got off to a decent start here about halfway through the first half. Cadena slotting through Melcy Martins to give us a 1-0 lead in the first half. Unfortunately, not too long off the back of that, though, R.S.C did get an equaliser. It was a missed header there at the back. I think that was by a Fosu, and they did make it all square. But right before half-time, not too long off the back of that goal, we did get the winner, Maurizio Goffi, just tucking that away into the left-hand side of goal, and we make our way through to the Iceland Cup final off the back of a 2-1 win against R.S.C, and that means later in today's episode, our second game, it is a final where we will be taking on the champions of the one deal in Breidablik. They will be making their way back up to the top division next season. But off the back of that, we did look to try and wrap up the league title before the start of this Champions League group stage. And the first game from the league that we need to show you guys was a top of the table clash at home against HK, and we go off to a decent start here. Martins Vidursky back in the team for a run this time around. He slots one away at the 15-minute mark to give us a 1-0 lead at half-time. Unfortunately, we conceded from a corner 10 minutes into the second half, and Benjamin Rubio missed a penalty just past the hour mark, but late in the game, Sergio Cadena with a nice finish there from the Nygaard assist. They got a late red card in this game at HK, which didn't help as well in the 93rd minute. Not too sure if you can see that, as it will be behind my head, but in the end we pick up a 2-1 win, and that was a big win against the team who were chasing us in the league. We won both our games off the back of this as well, and that meant that we had a chance to wrap up the title in the game right before this one away at Valarakievik. Just needing a point out of this game away from home, but they did make life tough for us here, did Valarakievik, on the quarter of an hour mark. It's a header there, and Heltestad right in front of goal puts that away to give them a 1-0 lead, albeit only 2 minutes later. We did get it back to all square and getting that point that we did need to win the title. Pat Ainscough off the Chaka Traore cross gets that in off the upright one, all at halftime. Unfortunately, though, with 20 minutes left to go, they did get back in the lead here. Did Valarakievik yet again a headed goal through Tryggvason, but very shortly off the back of that, yet again we did get the scoreline back to all square. Bedrzicki up to Werner Bayer, Frederick Larsen and Maurizio Goffi on the volley gets us the goal, which did secure us the league title. Hardly a convincing display, but we did lift the trophy off the back of that 2-2 draw. Only the second time that we have dropped points this season, but in the end not too disappointed with a pretty heavily rotated team getting into this first Champions League game and away at a good team like Veloreykjavik. So what that means for the league table, we are champions. We are 10 points clear of HK with 1 game in hand, 4 games left in the season, but for them, they only have 3 games left in the season. So the league title is already wrapped up. And what that means, if we go and have a look over at the schedule, is we have the chance later today to try and wrap up yet again a domestic quadruple when taking on Breidablik. In the Mulkabikaran final is the champions of the Islands Dealden versus the champions of the One Deal. But it is time to get into our first game of Champions League group stage. We are taking on Anderlecht. As I said earlier, this is a team who we did beat in the Conference League quarterfinals earlier this domestic season. Last European season, we beat them 6-2 on aggregate. In the end, that was largely thanks to 5 goals from Benjamin Rubio in the first leg. Their team looking pretty similar to what it was when we did last meet them as well. And this is a team, as I said, who we really do need to be beating if we want to finish third in this group behind Man City and Barcelona, or at least give ourselves a chance to potentially sneak above one of those 2 teams if results do fall in our favour and we get a few upsets. But a result here at home is of critical importance if we do want to finish third in this group. We have no injury concerns going into this one, and we'll come back shortly from the Laugardas Vola for our first Champions League group stage game against Anderlecht. And TV coverage for this first Champions League group stage game, there is our team. We are at full strength, a strong bench as well. Maurizio Goffi now in the team ahead of Martins Vidursky. He has improved quite a bit, but it is a good, strong team for us. There is Anderlecht. They look very similar to the team which we knocked out in the Conference League quarterfinals, and hopefully after this game we will be joint top of the table alongside Manchester City. 5 minutes gone. First highlight of this game is in our favour. A free kick right on the halfway line. Anderlecht are in the purple. We are in the green and knock the ball around just outside the box. Patrick Nygaard tries to play that back for Ian Carlo. Does give possession away, albeit thankfully they cleared it out to Alejandro Meza, and we can look to launch another attack. But encouraging signs. Hopefully we can get a good shot away nice and early in this one. Ian Carlo plays it in there for Frederick Larsson. Somehow doesn't find its way into the back of the net, and it remains 0-all approaching the 8-minute mark. And shortly off the back of that first highlight, we do have a corner, and Gabriel Corbo gets his head on the end of that ball from Caviglia, does a forward roll or something like that to celebrate, and we go 1-0 up right before the 10-minute mark in our first Champions League game. Exactly what we needed, just gets that past the goalkeeper at his near post. 1-0 Völsungur after 10 minutes. And up to the 14-minute mark, it is now Anderlecht with a highlight. They do have a throw-in just inside the opposition half, and they try and make their way forward. It's a bad missed header there, I think, by Gabriel Corbo, and it is Stenvik who is able to put that away. And just after getting the lead in this one, that is a disappointing way for the scoreline to go back to all square. It was a really soft missed header that gave them a good chance to get in behind. In fact, it was Mbiyamba. Both of our centre-backs had shifted out to this left-hand side, and in the end, their striker given far too much space to tuck that away. 15 minutes gone. It is back to all square here in this group game. 22 minutes gone. Another throw-in here for Anderlecht. Thankfully, a lot further back in the field than the one that they did score that goal from before. A bad header from Mbiyamba missed there, but we might get possession back here. In fact, we won't, and then we will, though. Some short passing doesn't pay off there for Anderlecht, but hopefully we can get another goal sooner rather than later, because we really do need a win from this game if we are going to finish third in this group. Otherwise, things are going to get really tough for us to try and make our way into the knockouts of a European competition. We really do need to be beating Anderlecht when we do face them in this tough group alongside Man City and Barcelona. But we do get possession back. Nygaard, nice ball there for Rubio. He slots it away in the left-hand side of goal. That's his 46th goal for the season. He is having a superb one, is Benjamin Rubio. No doubt those goals that he got in the Conference League knockouts and in Champions League qualifying helping with that tally. But it's a really well-weighted ball that from Patrick Nygaard. He tucks it away, and we have our lead back at the 22-minute mark, 2-1 Völsungur. Up to the 33-minute mark, we do have a corner. Nygaard puts in for Corbo, gets his head on the end of it, yet again comes off the crossbar, still up by a goal just shy of half-time. And not long off the back of that chance to Gabriel Corbo for a double. It is a goal kick there to Anderlecht, but we do win the header through Corbo and get possession back. He is having a very good game at the back. Mbiyamba also on a good rating, which is interesting considering that he did miss that header earlier, but we are on the attack yet again. Ian Carlo trying to pick someone out there on the left-hand side. I think he was trying to pick out Larson in the end. Galtason with a good foot in there, and we do get possession back and look to mount one more attack in the last 10 minutes of this first half. Arnason starts to drive forward. Nice ball there for Larson. Tucks it away now. Was he onside? I suspect he might have been just a stride off there. Looked a little bit too good to be true, but the goal has been awarded and we go 3-1 up, 7 minutes shy of half-time. That is exactly what we were after. Porstein Arnason with a really good run there. Frederick Larson must have timed his run to perfection. Nice finish there into the top right corner, and we now have a cushion goal in our opening group stage game of the Champions League. In fact, their right back playing him well onside there, Frederick Larson. 3-1 Völsungur, 8 minutes shy of half-time. And that is half-time in our first Champions League group stage game, a very important one, as I said, at home against Anderlecht. And after they got a pretty sketchy equaliser off the back of a missed header from Mbiyamba, we have extended our lead out to 3-1, so things going pretty much to plan so far in this one. We are going to make one change here at halftime. Alejandro Meza has picked up a late yellow card here in the first half, only going okay on a 6.6 rating, so Sigurd Bjornsson can come on for him. That'll be our first sub, but we're looking pretty good so far. 3-1 up as we start the second 45 minutes. 52 minutes gone. We are playing out from the back. Gabriel Corbo's been pretty good so far. Has picked up an early yellow card here in the second half, so we might just make a change off the back of this highlight, but we'll see what happens first. And Corbo is on the ball as we steadily look to play out from the back here, albeit Anderlecht just keeping us pretty well contained here so far. Just our defenders, defensive midfielder, and the centre backs in possession so far. We might switch this out to Ian Carlo and hopefully get something going. And now we do start to drive forward with a bit more purpose. Benjamin Rubio does play that back to Ian Carlo, but we do sneak our way further upfield. Nygaard finds Rubio back out to Patrick. Nygaard just takes his time. Back for Galtason. Really nice ball that for Frederick Larson, and on the volley he tucks that into the top left corner. No VAR check, and that is 4-1 early here in the second half. 2 goals either side of half-time for Frederick Larson, who of course did miss the game the last time we played Anderlecht, as he couldn't be registered after spending the first part of the Conference League on loan at Landers. But we are now in a very comfortable position, and with that in mind, we will indeed make that substitution. Gabriel Corbo, good game, but on a yellow card. Samuel Afosu can come on for him, but 3 goals up early in the second half of our first group game of this Champions League. Now up to the 71-minute mark, we have our next highlight, a throw-in just inside the final third. Patrick Nygaard back out to Ian Carlo. Can we extend the gap? Because at the moment, we are topping the group with a slightly better goal differential than Manchester City after they got a 2-goal win over Barcelona. That's a really nice ball yet again from Galtason to slot through. Frederick Larson might be on for his hat-trick, but VAR is going to check this one, and this time he is offside, so Frederick Larson does not pick up a hat-trick. We'll just wait to see how close this was. Galtason has been in great form recently, wasn't offside by much, only a step, but I suppose it's a fair decision. Still 3 goals up late here in our first Champions League game. Still 3 goals up here late in our first Champions League game, and we are going to make our last substitution with Porstein Arnason down to a red heart. Goffey can come on for him, only 16 minutes left and 3 goals up. And up to the 79-minute mark, we are on the attack again. Frederick Larson, though, can't quite get on the end of that ball, but with only 10 minutes left, we should be able to hold on here for 3 quite important points that will give us a big leg up in the race for third in this group. Well, that's a great chance there for Anderlecht, but that comes off the bar. That's a chance for them there to try and get back into this one, but we remain 3 goals up with only 8 minutes left. Now up to the 86-minute mark, Anderlecht were on the attack again, but a good interception there from Patrick Nygaard, and we might have one more chance to try and get this scoreline out to 5-1, but for the most part, this has been a pretty good first game in the Champions League group stage, and Frederick Larson in behind yet again, trying to get his hat-trick, but forces a good save out of the Anderlecht goalkeeper at his near post. We do have a corner straight off the back of that, but he can't find anyone there. Can Nicolucci Caviglia. We are still on the attack, but unfortunately his ball does not find Afosu, and Anderlecht continue to go forward here. Might be a chance for them. They switched it out to the left-hand side. The player who scored the goal earlier tries to put one into the mixer. It is blocked, and that will be the highlight, but we are very late into this one. Only 3 minutes of added time, and in the end, despite that mistake from Mbiyamba in the first half, he actually picked up player of the game for us, which is a little bit surprising with that missed header, but an 8.3 for him. But a double to Larson alongside goals to Corbo and Rubio does mean that we pick up a very comfortable win yet again at home here against Anderlecht, and that is exactly the way that we wanted to start off our Champions League group stage. That does mean that we should be top of the group, having just done a little bit better than Manchester City did do in their game against Barcelona. But those are 3 very important points considering the games that we will have coming up in tomorrow's episode, and there is confirmation of what the group does look like and some results from the other games in the other groups of the Champions League. Make note of that. We are currently topping a group with Man City and Barcelona in it, albeit that could definitely change in tomorrow's episode when we take on both of those teams. But that is exactly how we wanted to start this group off, and we will come back shortly and try and make it a domestic quadruple for the 4th straight season as we take on Breidablik in the Icelandic Cup final. And here are the team sheets for this Icelandic Cup final. It is an away game for us. The Breidablik in the green, we are in the black. Breidablik, a little bit of a different team compared to when we did last season. We are putting out more or less the same squad as in that Champions League game, albeit a reduced bench here for these cup games. Flavio Trubia is starting for Breidablik. Of course, that's a player who the board sold from under our noses quite early in the save, but it is time for us to try and get yet another domestic quadruple. 8 minutes gone. The first highlight in this final looks like it might be in Breidablik's favour. They are in the green and white at home. We are in the all black. An interesting matchup, this one. The champions of the one yield, and they've done it pretty comfortably, just like we have in the top division. So this is quite an interesting matchup. Of course, Breidablik, the team outside of us who have done the best so far in Europe in the save as well. So it will be good to have them back in the top division for next season. Might not be the worst thing if we were to lose this game, because they could probably do a better job than some of the other teams in behind us in the top division in European qualifying next season based on their previous record. But we do get an interception and are back on the attack down this right-hand side. Ian Carlo plays that forward to Caviglia. Rubio for Arnason. Really good short passing here. Nygaard gets in behind, gets a lot of help off the woodwork, and we do go 1-0 up inside 10 minutes here against the champions of the second tier in Iceland, and that is a very good start to try and make it a domestic quadruple for the 3rd straight season, trying to win this competition for the 3rd straight season. Patrick Nygaard just sneaks that inside the far post off that Arnason assist. 1-0 Völsungur after 10 minutes. And only a few minutes off the back of that opening goal, we do have another highlight goal kick from Breidablik, but Corbo wins the header, takes that back to Sarah Fellaini, and we look to build out from the back yet again through Gabriel Corbo. Gets out to Alejandro Meza, looking for a quite dominant performance, hopefully today, against the team who are from the 2nd division, albeit, as I said, the champions, and a team who have done the best outside of us in Europe so far in this save, but still a team that you would expect us to do very well against, especially with the starting 11 coming off the back of a comprehensive win in Champions League group play. It's a really nice ball that for Fredrik Larsson. Some great football there, but a good save from the Breidablik goalkeeper. We will see what happens from this corner. Patrick Nygaard puts in the mixer. Can't quite find the head of Corbo. Fredrik Larsson will get possession back for us in there for Caviglia. Still on the attack, but Breidablik do get possession back, and it remains 1-0 after 15 minutes. And up to the 31-minute mark here for our next highlight, still 1-0, and it starts exactly the same way as that last highlight did, with us winning a header off the back of a goal kick there for Breidablik. Benjamin Rubio does win that initial header, but Fredrik Larsson does get beaten to the next one, so Breidablik are in possession. Look to get something going here in this game, albeit that's a really poor pass, and Fredrik Larsson might get something started for us on the counter-attack. Rubio out to Patrick Nygaard, puts it in for Galtason on the volley. That's a wonderful goal. His 2nd of the season. Galtason in a really good pitch of form at the moment is the Icelandic defensive midfielder, and it's starting to look quite comfortable for us in this game. Breidablik haven't really threatened so far, and just after the half-hour mark, wonderful strike from Galtason to get it out to 2-0. Only a few minutes before half-time, Breidablik did have possession, but Caviglia with an interception. Can we get it out to 3-0 before half-time? A quite similar scoreline to what we had in the first game of today's episode. Arnason inside the box, back for Larson, just at the back pedal. A little bit too far there, but we are still on the attack, and Patrick Nygaard rockets that into the left-hand corner and does indeed make it 3-0 right before half-time. This is looking like exactly how you would expect it to, with us, the champions of the top division, against the champions from the second tier. We just held up play off the back of Larson having to retreat, and Caviglia plays that to Nygaard, who is right in line with the defence. A nice finish, and it's 3-0 just before half-time in the Icelandic Cup final. And that is half-time in the Icelandic Cup final. Not much to really explain here. We have been completely dominant. Breidablik yet to have a single shot in this game. Very happy with how things are going. Hopefully we can keep this up in the second half and make it our third quadruple in a row. Okay, up to the 65-minute mark, nothing happening so far in this second half, but we will make our first substitution with Porstein Arnason down to a red heart. Now, we don't have a lot of bench options for this one, with only 5 players on the bench for these domestic cup games, but Patrick Nygaard is not the worst Mazzala in the world, and Fredrik Larsen can play right wing as well, so I think Kadina can come on for Arnason. We'll just switch those guys around. So Nygaard is in the Mazzala, Larsen at right wing, and Kadina on the left wing. That's our first sub use, still 3-0 with 25 minutes left. Now up to the 74-minute mark, we are going to make a few more substitutions here. We're going to take off the remainder of our midfield because they are the players who are the most injury prone still, with a pretty good lead in this one. Werner Bayer for Caviglia. That is an obvious substitution, but looking for someone who can come on for Galtason. Adri Garrido is the recommended play. We'll just see which of our players in this current first 11 do look the most comfortable playing in that defensive midfield role. It looks like one of Mbiyamba and Corbo. So Garrido will go back to centre back. It doesn't really matter which one of those two centre backs we do put at DM, and I think Mbiyamba is a little bit more of an aerial threat. So Corbo will shift up to DM for these last 15 minutes, but it looks like it will be another quadruple as we are still 3-0 up. And 10 minutes shy of full time, we finally have a highlight in the second half. Breidablik have got a few shots off in the second half, but nothing too threatening. And they tried to get something off there, but we do get possession back, and Werner Bayer plays that out to Sergio Cadena. His contract not too far away from expiring now. The Chelsea player, he is, of course, now he has been loaned back to us till the end of October, and he is on the attack here just inside the box. Can he find someone to try and put us 4-0 up? Alejandro Meza outside the box. Benjamin Rubio gets his head on the end of that. Yet again, we get a little bit of help off the woodwork, and that will absolutely seal it. It has been a pretty comfortable watch, this one, as a manager, and we are going to pick up a 4-0 win at least in the Icelandic Cup final. Alejandro Meza floats down for Benjamin Rubio towards the far post. A little bit of help off that post, but gets in the back of the net. 4-0 Völsungur late here in the Icelandic Cup final. And 2 minutes of added time in this Icelandic Cup final. As I said before, very comfortable watch. Not a most dominant performance, actually. Only 12 shots overall in the game and 9 on target, but 4 of those did find their way into the back of the net. And for the third season in a row, we are going to pick up the domestic quadruple. And for the 4th time in this save, we are the Icelandic Cup champions. And that is exactly how we do want to finish off the domestic season for the most part. Our 4th domestic trophy for the 3rd season in a row. And back in the inbox off the back of that Icelandic Cup win, and yet again we do pick up the quadruple, as you can see, with us having picked up the league title and the cup title in the last 3 years. We have not yet been beaten in the Deildabikar or in the Super Cup, so that is a quadruple for the 3rd straight season, starting to look a little bit more like our form in the Deildabikar and the Molkabikaran as well these days, which is very nice. We get a very small payday for that Molkabikaran with £59,000, and when you consider we're paying out £42,000 in bonuses for winning that competition, not much reward financially for winning that competition, but that is not the end of the world, because we do actually have our transfer budgets already, with us having sealed the league prior to the start of that Champions League. It is a very healthy transfer budget going into the start of that one. I will remind you guys of this when we do finish up the Champions League group stage at the end of the week before the transfer window opens in February, but we do have a 10.3 million transfer budget and 75,000 close to the £76,000 worth of wage budget as well. That is by far the biggest transfer budget we have had to play with so far in this save, so we could do some real damage with that at the start of 2028. But we have wrapped up all 4 trophies domestically yet again and start off the Champions League group stage in really good touch with a 4-1 win against Anderlecht coming up in tomorrow's episode. We will round off the domestic season off camera and bring you guys a big double header. It is going to be very tough for us this one. We have Manchester City at home, followed by a trip to the new camp to take on Barcelona. It is going to be very difficult for us to pick up anything from those 2 games, but we will see what we can do, and hopefully we can at least stay above Anderlecht going into the last 3 games of this Champions League group. But if you did enjoy today's episode with that win against Anderlecht as well as the Iceland Cup final, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until tomorrow, where we get right into the Champions League, it's a tough one against City and Barcelona. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.